This week, we are joined by Randy Henderson from Henderson Ford and Felicia Drysdale from the Rochester City School District to talk about your campaign, Let's Rev Up the Reading Engine. So this is basically it's a book drive on steroids, right? That's kind of what I'm taking in right now.
That's a good way to describe it, sure.
And this is your 8th year you've been doing this.
Yes, 8 years.
So let's start from the beginning. How did this start? How did you get this idea? How did you decide I want to help the Rochester City Schools?
Yeah, well, we've always had a passion for youth and whatever we could do to enhance the education experience and impact the graduation rates. And so we were talking with our agency, Diane McClure, and just brainstorming types of things that we could do. And we thought about connecting with a school, and then Felicia came up because we attend church together, and Diane reached out to her to inquire as to what kind of things might be of some benefit to the school. And she suggested that books, that a lot of the kids at the school did not have books to read of their own, and they had limited numbers of capacity of books within the school. So that's how it was born.
And these books are being collected for Helen Barrett Montgomery School number 50.
Correct.
And I'm looking at the numbers here. Again, this is the 8th year, so you guys started this back in 2011. It's impressive to watch the growth. So your very first year collected nearly 1,000, which I would say for a first time, that's pretty impressive right there.
We thought so.
But then as you look the next year, 1,200. Then the next year, you doubled that. And now this last year, 4,000 books were collected.
Yes.
What has it been like to see this grow?
It's been really exciting to see it grow. It's been really exciting to see the students' responses when the books are coming in. Just the opportunity for students to have access to books, because many of them can't go to the local libraries for whatever reason. Parents can't sit down with their kids and read at night. This is just an avenue to help, bridge that gap between students not having books and having books, and the homeschool connection. It's just great.
And now I'm sure it's tradition at this point. I mean, 8 years.
It is.
So, the kids hear from the older kids. They know it's coming. You guys actually have a very interesting, well, again, this is why I say it's a book drive on steroids, a very interesting way how you deliver these books that are collected.
Yes. So the day of the book drive, Randy and the members from Henderson Ford and the advertising agency, they fill up the books in a car or trucks, and there's a motorcade led by Randy on his Harley. Is it a Harley?
Yeah, it's a Harley.
With balloons, and the kids are lined up outside the school waiting for the motorcade to come, and they're just clapping and welcoming them in, and they're bringing the boxes and boxes and boxes of books into the school. So they're really excited to receive the books, which I think makes them excited to read the books.
For sure. I mean, I think that's such an important component of it. Because again, let's be honest, when it comes to having kids do schoolwork and reading, you got to get them to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it an event like that and to have it be something that they look forward to, I think that's a big impact. It is. So Randy, for you, what are your feelings like on that day when you're leading the motorcade there on your Harley and you have all the books behind you and the kids are waiting for you?
Well, it's always exciting for us. We never know what to expect when we get to the school, because the first couple of times we've just gone and we deliver and we have a chance to speak to the kids. And I think a couple of years into it, we pulled up one day and all the kids were standing out on the curb, waving and smiling and kind of rooting us on. And that was very exciting, just to know that we are impacting their lives in some way and that they are really bought into this whole thing of growth by reading. It's just been very exciting for us.
Again, joined this week by Randy Henderson of Henderson Ford and Felicia Drysdale of the Rochester City School District. So right now we're in the collection phase because the delivery is in September, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so right now, if people are listening, if it's making them smile, just thinking about these books being dropped off to these kids and they want to donate, what do they need to know? New and used are accepted?
New and used accepted.
And what's the age range we're looking here? Again, it's a middle school, so.
It's a middle school, but our students read anywhere from pre-K to 12th grade, so we'll actually take any new or used book. It doesn't matter the age. We'll take them. We do separate them based on genre and grade level so that our students are able to select books that are appropriate for them to read.
Mm-hmm. So there is, of course, there is a bit of the weeding process. Got to go through and make sure that it fits what you guys are trying to do.
Correct.
And you spoke a little bit, Randy, about the kids there clapping and being excited. What kinds of things have they said to you guys?
They've written letters thanking Henderson for the books. I was just sharing a story outside. One little girl, we said to her over the summer, make sure you read. And she goes, I don't have any books at home. We said, well, we have a ton of books. And so I took her down and she selected a couple books to go home with. So the kids, it's just exciting.
And that's such an impact, too. I know in previous episodes of this, I've talked with people about the summer learning gap. And how, I mean, especially in the Rochester City Schools, unfortunately, it's a huge problem.
It's huge.
And I mean, this is a step towards helping towards that. Even having just a couple of books just to kind of keep on going and get you through. I don't know. I remember back when I was in school. I don't know if you guys had this when you were in school, but it was that you would read the books and you would get the Pizza Hut pizza discounts.
Yes,
remember
the
doing that back
we still have those, the bookets.
Oh, dude.
Yes,
yeah, okay,
yes.
Cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. I mean, again, I think the goal here is to try and get kids excited about learning.
Yes.
And it seems like you guys are accomplishing that again with the book drive. And I love the name of the campaign. Again, I'm sure that's tied into the motorcycle ride and the parade, but let's rev up the reading engine. So you've been doing this for 8 years now. Again, 4,000 books collected last year. When you go into it, do you have expectations and goals for how much you want to collect?
Yeah, that's a good question. Every year we set a goal, and every year, I think, except for one, we've exceeded the goal. The first year, our goal was 500. We ended up with just under 1,000. The next year was 1,000. We ended up with 1,200, and on and on. Last year, I think it was 2,000 or 2,500, and we ended up with 4. I mean, and one thing that really excites us about it is how the community responds. Because we have people from not just Webster, but from all over that come in and bring in a few books or boxes of books, and people just are really bought into this idea of helping the kids with their reading.
Well, we're all in this together, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something, again, it comes up over and over again of how giving of a community Rochester really is. And I know a lot of communities can try and say that about themselves, but I truly, honestly feel it's special here. It really, really is that we're in it together and we're trying to help each other out. So what do you see for the future? Again, 8th year here. Do you, what is your vision moving forward? Is there any idea of maybe expanding to another school and trying to make it bigger than it even is already?
Well, there has been another school that we have worked with to collect books for. In fact, Diane has spearheaded that. Diane with the Edge Ag Group has really helped to coordinate the other school as well during the off season. But we want to continue to focus with the partner that we have. We'll see if we have other requests. We try to help with it. But Felicia's been a great partner, and that school has certainly been receptive, and it's been great. We want to continue to increase the numbers. I'm almost afraid to set a goal past 4,000.
Right. But this is, of course, something that it takes a lot of people to pull this off. And, it's not just Henderson Ford. It's not just the Rochester City School District, coming together. There's more components involved to raising 4,000 books for these kids. You have a bunch of business partners as well that have jumped in on this. Yep.
Steinmiller Insurance in Webster, Edge Ag Group, UPS Store in Webster, the Webster Chamber Health Insurance Service, Omero's Custom Clothiers. They've been involved. So, yeah, it's always, and the partner list has grown over the years. We've added a couple of new people, so it's always exciting.
Now, do they hear about it and come to you, or are you kind of looking for people that might be interested in helping out and you have to go out there and pitch them? I'm sure it's not hard. Hey, do you want to help kids read? I mean, that's a pretty easy pitch, but
yeah, no, people have been coming to us. People that really have a heart for it and a desire to participate in it have raised their hands and been very helpful.
That's amazing, and I'm sure it's been very easy to get them to buy in on that.
Yeah.
Again, talking to Randy Henderson, Felicia Drysdale. She's of the Rochester City School District, and the campaign, Let's Rev Up the Reading Engine. I've never heard of a book drive that ends with a motorcycle ride before. Yeah. So you guys are innovative in that aspect as well. How did that come about? How did you decide to tie that in together?
Let's see. How did that come up? We just wanted to make it exciting.
Different. Yeah.
We talked about it. Should we deliver them in trucks or cars? And we've taken them in different vehicles over the years. And all of us, and we decided one year, hey, why don't we just lead it in with a motorcycle, just to make it a little more exciting and put some balloons up to make it exciting for the kids.
Sure.
And so we've just carried that tradition on for probably the last 6 or so years.
Probably about the last 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So paint this picture for me. So it's you in the front. You're on your Harley. You got your balloons there. What's the motorkid looking like behind you? How many vehicles are there?
Oh, it's been at least 3. Sometimes it's been 4 or 5.
I remember one year there were some F-150s.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it depends.
That's really, really funny. I love it, though. That's amazing. 8th year of this drive again. It's looked like it's increased dramatically. I mean, just looking from 2016 to 2017 has been huge. Can you figure out exactly why there was such a jump last year? I mean, 4,000 books, that's a ton of books.
Well, one of the things that one of the local libraries has an annual event where they clear out books and offer books for sale. And at the end of the sale, if nonprofits have a need for books, they're able to come and select from the remaining ones. So Diane and I actually took one of the big trucks that we had on the lot over at the end of the sale one day and just loaded it up from front to back. So that added, I'm going to say, at least a couple of thousand to the total on that hot day. I can still remember wiping the sweat off, but it was certainly worth it to get to that number and have books available for the kids.
So, Felicia, can you speak a little bit about the impact of this? Because, of course, it's, on the surface, it's nice for the kids to have some books, but the true impact of what this can do, and I don't think it's crazy to say that it could be life-changing.
It could be, and we all know that reading is key and fundamental. Students don't read. It has a huge impact on their academic success. In our building, we represent over 22 different countries. So we have a high ENL population as well. So just for students to have books at an early age that they could read, it just helps bridge that gap with their academic success in school. So just, as Randy said in the beginning, some of our students don't have books at home for whatever reason. Libraries aren't available to them for them to have these books. And even if they can't read the books, just to get into the habit and the routine of going through books with their families, it places a different emphasis on the importance of reading. And we push it in our school. As a matter of fact, my principal and I were at a conference in Portland, and we were just talking about what can we do to promote reading in school. So we're going to do a campaign also after the book drive where certain grade levels, we're going to have a contest of how many books they read, and the contest will be between the administrators and so we're putting on a challenge with the administrator who doesn't get the most books read, what they would do. My principal was like, well, I'll wear a dress. She's never worn a dress. So we're just trying to see what we can do to help kids get excited about reading also, because it does have a huge impact on their academic success.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that really resonated to me when we first started talking about this, because just as a personal story, I remember my mother, when I was 3, 4, 5 years old, starting me reading early. So when I went to school, I was a step ahead. I was really straight A's for a lot of years until I became a knucklehead. But I really,
Oh, that's really funny. It is, and it's it's the learning aspect of it. But Felicia, you mentioned it. I mean, it can be bonding for the families as well. And let's be honest, it can also be an escape for a lot of these kids. Maybe things go on in their life might not be the greatest. Open up that book and get to go away for a little bit.
Right.
I think it's such an honorable thing you guys are doing. Again, in the 8th year of this drive, it's the Let's Rev Up the Reading Engine, joined by Randy Henderson and Felicia Drysdale, again, Henderson Ford and the Rochester City School District. So again, if someone's listening and they want to donate, we're looking for new or used books, and for ages 5 through 14, pre-K to 8th for the reading level there, and the collection goes through September 7th. If they want to, maybe they have a whole bunch that are just kind of hanging out, because I mean, we all have just stacks that we've been through those already. We're not going to go back and read them again, right?
Right.
Where are the drop-off points? Where can they go?
They can come to Henderson Ford, 810 Ridge Road, Steinmiller Insurance, 1223 Bay Road in Webster, Edge Ag Group, 6 North Main Street in Fairport, the UPS store, 1900 Empire Boulevard in Webster, and the Webster Chamber office at 110 Crosspointe Lane, Suite C in Webster. So clean out the closets, clean out the basements, the garages, round up the books and drop them by.
There you go. And then just know that at some point in September, they're going to be driven to the school following a Harley ridden by Mr. Randy Henderson.
Absolutely.
Guys, thanks so much for coming in, and thank you for doing this. It really is. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Beautiful thing.